There's no one who knows more than George Kurtz, who is CEO of CrowdStrike, and I can't believe we are lucky to have you. George, it's great to see you, first of all, and you're doing a lot of terrific stuff, and I think you've become one of the great, maybe the great spokesperson for an industry which cannot be, which is front page everywhere, and yet sometimes you have an outage like AWS, but no one wants to know whether it was cyber attack.
Well, when you look at technology and you look at how interconnected everything is, these sort of events happen. I think they did a good job of explaining what happened. They recovered from it, and they learned from it. They put out a very lengthy blog post, and when you have this level of automation and complexity, you have to deal with it, and part of everyone's goal is to become more resilient, and that means more resilience in cyberspace and more resilient from security type events as well.
Well, in there last night, there's Elon Musk, man, we admire, who's talking about he needs to have more stock because he doesn't know what the Optimus robots will do. They could be hacked. Now, I know that you have a deal with Mark Benioff with Salesforce, but I'm starting to think that the Agentics could I'm not to be like David Faber. I'm not going to, it's not going to be some movie, but that you could break into an Agentic and then be able to get into the keys of the kingdom.
Well, this is something that we've really been focused on for the last number of years, is being able to protect Agentic AI. And if you think about Agentic AI, it has the capabilities to interact with data. It has the capabilities to interact with compute. It has identities, non-human identities, but it operates at superhuman speed. So all of the challenges that we've seen over the many years of humans getting themselves into trouble is only going to be exacerbated by Agentic AI, and we need security like CrowdStrike is delivering to protect it.
When you hear a narrative start to develop that AI is going to kill software or is currently killing software, what's your pushback on that?
I don't really buy that. I think you need software in order to be able to protect AI, and they're interrelated. It's not like you just have one without the other. So for me, I don't really buy into that narrative. I think it's only going to help companies like ours. We're AI, but we're also obviously a SaaS company. And the way we deliver security and AI protection is through our software. So I think you have to have both.
That's been one of the biggest questions, specifically around SaaS, whether it's going to make SaaS obsolete and what SaaS companies need to do to integrate AI enough that they don't fall into that territory.
Well, you look at the big model creators now, all of that is going to be commoditized, and then it's really going to be focused on the apps itself. And all of the SaaS providers are leveraging AI and the foundational models and the frontier models that are out there to be able to create better applications and better outcomes for customers. So it's only going to accelerate SaaS, in my mind, once people get through the hype cycle of AI.
Do you think, George, that when you read, say, for instance, the Chinese bought no soybeans, do you think that's because they are listening to everything and they say, you know what, here's a killer, let's just not buy any soy? Or they won't sell, they want to limit rare earth. That's because maybe they heard that Hegseth said to somebody else, hey man, how's the F-35? Are we in trouble here, rare earth? They seem to know everything. They seem to be one step ahead. It's almost as if they've tapped everything.
Well, they kind of have, Jim. I mean, that's the scary part. If you look at geopolitical events, if you think about rare earth, how important they are, you think about issues with Taiwan, you think about anything happening in the geopolitical environment, they are there. They are targeting those companies. They are targeting other entities that are involved in those, and a big part of their operation is gathering as much intelligence information as they can. They've got their own big data apparatus. They take it all in, they synthesize it, and they know exactly what's happening before we can even react to it.
When you see, we initially start out with the government taking a stake in Intel, and then we move from there to rare earths, and now there's talk potentially today about quantum computing stocks in the interest of national security. You guys have a lot of government contracts, right? DHS, DOD, et cetera. How do you think about that issue of government taking stakes in companies that are deemed to be of national security interests? I mean, cyber is obviously at the top of the list when you talk about companies that are protecting the national interests.
Well, if you look at the current administration, it's being run like a business, right? So when you look at taking stakes and having equity ownership, I mean, that's for other policy people to decide, but where the U.S. government spends its money wants to get the best return. So if there's a way to help some of these organizations and put quantum, in the forefront, because we're going to have to deal with some of the issues related to quantum-related attacks, so be it. But I think at the end of the day, we just want to be thoughtful about what we do, and cybersecurity, again, is going to be one that's going to be front and center for the government.